Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pennsylvania Association for College Admissions Counseling Virtual College Fair, and thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Our panelists cannot see nor hear you. Your camera is both off and microphone is off. This is just one of many different sessions being offered, so be sure to sign up for more. And this presentation will be recorded and available in about a week at stridescan.com/Pennsylvania. And with that, I'd love to turn it over to our first presenter from John Cabot University.
Thank you very much. All right, so let me start my timer. So my name is Ramsey. I'm the admissions counselor for the United States for John Cabot University, which is a university in Rome. But I also graduated from there 4 years ago now, which is crazy. So if you guys have any questions, about either sides of those, just let me know, but let's go right into it. So a few things to know right off the bat. We are a pretty small liberal arts institution, but we are a US institution. So when you go to John Cabot and you get your degree, it's an American accredited degree. So it's just like earning any degree from the US. You can bring it back, just like what I did. But we're a small liberal arts school. We're just over 1,000 students. We do have students from over 70 countries. And I know a lot of schools say they're very international, but I can tell you from experience, we really are. And our enrollment profile has changed a little bit. We're around 45% American students, and then the rest of it is just people from around the world. And it really makes a huge difference. And that's kind of a huge reason why people come to John Cabot. But yeah, I'll touch on the campuses and the tuition, of course. And I also have a QR code at the end if you want to scan it, because it'll have everything I'm talking about. A few things that kind of set us aside, I think, jumping to on-site learning and learning by doing, I think those can be summed up in experiential learning, which I'm sure you've heard the term before, but learning through your experiences is definitely the best way to learn, in my opinion. It's actually, the information will actually stick with you. You're not just remembering it for a test or an exam, but you learned it through an experience, so it sticks with you for a lot longer and resonates. So I found that, and there's just so many resources in Rome, so the professors really love taking the students outside of class and using Rome as a resource. But it's all American style, so we do have professors from all around the world, which they really kind of reflect the student body in that way, but they're from some PhDs in some of the best universities in the world, and I think that also adds to the in-class factor. Is the diversity with the students, but also the professors. But yeah, American style, same curriculum and GPA, all of that is the same. And like I've been saying, a very multicultural environment, of course. So of course, COVID-19 is a thing, but even this past fall and spring, we've been somewhat in person, and we're planning for fall 2021 to be a lot more in person, almost 100% back in person. So we have high hopes, but just in case, we're being super lenient with kind of deadlines and refund policies and all that. So just need to touch on that. But we are a university, so it's not just going over to eat pizza and pasta and all that, but we have 14 majors and 19 minors, a few support services for our students. I use the Writing Center quite a lot because you do a lot of writing in a liberal arts institution. So here's our list of majors. I studied communications and minored in humanistic studies, but this list, we have this list as minors as well as a few others like philosophy and mathematics. But yeah, if you guys have questions about any specifics of these, let me know. So something big at John Cabot is our career services. So it's very likely that you do get an internship while you're still at John Cabot. We have partnerships. I think it's over 700 companies at this point in and outside of Rome. So it's very likely that you do get an internship. We have 3 career fairs every year. We invite these companies to the campus, and you can talk to them, see what they're looking for in an applicant, give them your resume, maybe get an interview. And it's nice because it's not just for business students or economics or even finance. It's for all of our students because there's so many different organizations and companies in Rome. So as you can see, over 80% of our students who get an interview actually get the position because we have a long-standing relationship with these companies. So getting some professional experience is important nowadays, especially if it's in an international environment. I think it sets you aside from a lot of people. But because we're not a giant school with clubs, with frats and sororities and huge football games, we kind of have the other side. We're put a lot into our student-led clubs and organizations, and we have clubs. I think it's what you bring to the table, but we have everything from theater society to newspaper club who put out an issue every month. We have photography and fashion club. There's grassroots. So many different women empowerment groups. Yeah. So I think it's what, your hobbies are. I was a photographer, so I drifted towards that in the media side of it. We do a lot of trips and activities because again, we're in Italy. We want you to see Italy. We don't just want to keep you in class the entire time. We're trying to help you explore as well. Another thing I'll add is that we have Fridays off every week. So classes are Monday to Thursday, but weekends are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that changes everything. I mean, you just have so much more time to manage your studies, but also manage your travels. So we organize our own trips and activities to places around Rome. We have athletics. We have, of course, soccer is our biggest team because it's in Italy, but we also have basketball and volleyball, and we have a cheerleading squad and some of the smaller sports as well. We also have a full gym in one of our residential life buildings, full gym with weights, and then also an area to do kind of Zumba and like classes like that, self-defense. So of course you guys are worrying about the tuition. I think it's not too bad, honestly, for what you get. You get to, so much. You get to move to Rome, and also the education. I think it's a two-part, more bang for your buck, in my opinion. But the full tuition is just under $27,000, and that includes the health insurance and the meal plan for the year. We do have our own need-based scholarships and merit-based scholarships. Biggest merit-based scholarship, $9,500 a year. It's pretty easy to apply. And then we also take the FAFSA because we're an American institution. So. Yeah, if you guys have questions about that, let me know. Here are some pictures of the campus, but I am out of time. So if you guys have questions, please let me know. Applying is just like applying to any other American institution, so super simple. But that's my time. Again, my name is Ramsey from John Cabot University, and thanks.
Thanks a lot, Ramsey. Next up, our school is going to be John Metropolitan. John University.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jadon Joyner, and I am the International Officer for London Metropolitan University. And that is not how I sound. I always like to mess around and do a really stupid fake British accent. But in all seriousness, I'm based in Los Angeles, California, and I'm one of 2 international officers. And my job is to really help the students with anything and everything London Metropolitan. So if you have any questions or concerns, I am one of your points of contact. So just a little bit about the university. London Metropolitan, we are based in London, of course. We have 2 campuses, our Holloway Road campus and our Altgate campus. We have about 10,000 students, and one thing that's really unique is you can get your bachelor's degree in 3 years and your master's in 1 year at London Metropolitan. We also offer international student scholarships. We accept U.S. financial aid and veterans benefits, and we have over 200 different undergraduate and postgraduate programs. So one thing that's really important to us at London Metropolitan is diversity. We really believe in making the university accessible to anyone and everyone. Over 64% of our students are BAME students, which stands for Black, Asian, or Minority Ethnic students. We have over 147 different nationalities represented, and 96% of our students, staff, and faculty come from at least one underrepresented group in higher education. And then this picture right here is all of our US ambassadors. So if you're looking to join London Metropolitan, you can become one of those US ambassadors as well. And it's a paid position. So one of our famous alumnus is Sadiq Khan. He's the current mayor of London, still the current mayor. He was actually reelected just over a year ago, just over a month ago, excuse me. And he believes in London as a higher education capital of the world, and that's one thing we strive to be as well. So again, why should you get your degree in the UK? So often it's a lot cheaper than out-of-state private options. And so it's about, we usually tell students to budget around 40 to 45,000 a year, and that covers everything. So flights back and forth from the US, the tuition, housing, groceries, all of that. We have international student scholarships, and we also have the post-study work visa, which allows you to work for up to 2 years in the UK after you graduate. We also have long breaks, so if you want to travel home back to the States, you can do that as well. And again, we do offer accept US financial aid and benefits. So a little bit about the application process. We are rolling admissions, and we have no application fee if you apply to our site directly. We have a September and January start date, and we accept students with around a 3.0 GPA. But if your qualifications are a little bit different than that, then just email me and we can talk about that. We are test optional for the fall, and we offer advanced entry for transfer students. So students can come in a little bit later for their study. And then we also, our application is on UCAS, which is the UK Common App. And again, we are rolling admissions. So now I'm going to go through a couple pictures just so you can get a real feel for what it's actually like on campus. So this is an aerial view from our Holloway Road campus, which is our flagship campus. It houses our super lab, which is one of the largest teaching labs in Europe. We're right next to Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal Football Club plays if you're interested in Premier League soccer. We're also about 5 minutes from King's Cross Station if you were trying to take the train to Hogwarts. But in all seriousness, we're actually 5 minutes from a station connected to King Cross, which is St. Pancras Station, where you can take the train, the Eurostar, to Paris or to Belgium in under 2 hours. And so we're really in the heart of London, but you're also just a step away from Europe as well. So this is our Altgate campus, and unlike our Holloway Road campus, this is more of our artistic campus, while our Holloway Road is more business and sciences. This is more art and architecture and fashion. And so both students at both campuses have access to both campuses, and it's a very nice, warm, and welcoming community. And these are I'm going to go through a couple of pictures. This is our Super Lab, which is again one of the largest in Europe. One of our learning centers, which is really a nice combination of the classical elements of London and more modern architecture. So more of our cutting edge classrooms. This is one of our mini newsrooms and TV studios. Some of the architecture and design studios, and all of this artwork is student artwork, which I think is really cool. We have gyms, sports halls, intramural sports, just about everything that you would get at a university in the States. And then we also have cafes, bars, chill out zones for students. And one thing that's great is being in London, it's actually ranked the #1 city for international study. And so you're interacting with students from all over the world. And then as a London Metropolitan student, you are you get discounts to different things around the city. So you're showing your card and you're getting discounts at pubs and restaurants, or maybe you're a theater person. If you wanted to go to West End, which is kind of like the London version of Broadway, you can see shows like Lion King or Les Miserables for a lot cheaper. My partner, Megan Godding, who works on the East Coast, she has told me she's seen shows for like 20 pounds, which is like 25 or so dollars. And so you can really get discounts to different things around the city. And then the last thing I always tell people to check out this video, do something you love. It's an awesome student-led tour that really gives you a feel for what it's like on campus. And again, my name is Jadon Joyner. And if you have any questions or concerns, I'm going to put my contact details in the chat, and looking forward to connecting with you all soon.
Thank you, Jadon. Our next school is going to be the University College Dublin.
All right. Hey, everyone. My name is Kendall Hook, and I'm with UCD, University College Dublin. I'm actually, let me pull up my presentation here. I'm with UCD, but I'm actually based in New York, and I work with all of our students in the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast regions. So I don't know where you are in the college search process, or if you know anyone who has been to Ireland, if you've been to Ireland yourself, but anything you probably have heard in the news, media, books, movies is most likely true. Ireland is an incredible country. It's very safe, friendly, and welcoming. So it's often ranked as the world's friendliest city, and often in the top 10 to 12 safest countries in the world as well, according to the Global Peace Index. It is small. You can get from coast to coast in a matter of about 4 hours or so. But for being a small country, it is pretty mighty. It's a very globally connected multicultural society. So Dublin is an EU headquarter capital. So you have companies like Airbnb, Facebook, LinkedIn. They have their headquarters in Dublin, which makes for awesome networking opportunities and really speaks to the type of innovation that's happening in Dublin. So whether you want to network for summer internships or your stay back visa, where you can stay back in Ireland after you graduate to work, Dublin is a cool place to do that. All of the universities in Ireland are academically excellent. Your degrees will fully transfer back here to the US, whether it's for school or for jobs after graduation as well. Dublin is a really great size for a college student, I think. It's not overwhelming, it's easy to navigate, great public transportation, and it's very youthful. So about half of Dublin's population is under the age of 36 or so. So great art scene, great nightlife, great business center, and Dublin is an awesome place to spend your 4 years for school. UCD, or University College Dublin, we are one of Ireland's oldest universities, founded in 1854. But as you can tell from my background and this photo on the screen, we don't really look like an old campus. So we actually moved to the Belfield campus just south of Dublin City Centre in what's known as the Embassy District in 1854. So we have a pretty modern campus. UCD is ranked in the top 1% of universities worldwide and the #1 school in Ireland, again, which is really exciting. We have about 30,000 students. So between our campus and our student population, we feel very similar to a large state school, except we typically, we have more international students than US students typically. US universities typically do. So our undergrad population is about 30% international, which is pretty huge. We have a large range of degree programs, A to Z, which I will touch on in just a second. Our campus is very similar to a traditional US college campus. So we have all of the amenities that you're typically used to. So we have the gym, the student life center, the tutoring centers, the different libraries, the mental health services, the career centers. So everything that you're typically used to at home, UCD has as well to support all of our students as they're going through their time in undergrad. We don't have the traditional fraternities and sororities that you may see on US campuses, but we do have over 130 different clubs and organizations. So whether it's a sports club that you want to try out, or you're interested in like Harry Potter Society or the Irish Trad Music Society, or whatever you may be interested in, UCD has an organization that you can plug into, which is a great way to find your friends. We do have on-campus housing, which is great, and not super common for European universities. So you don't have to commute to class. You live within a 10 to 15-minute walk to all of our academic buildings, which is pretty unique and great considering you are also in the heart of a European capital city. So we have about 3,000 students that live on campus. We have brand new residence halls that were just built this year and opening this fall, which is pretty exciting. But we guarantee all of our international first-year students spaces on campus. And it's actually your own room as well, which is pretty unique. So we have over 70 undergrad degree programs at UCD that range between 3 to 4 years. I say it's most common for students to be on campus for the full 4 years. But you can see here the colleges that we have on campus. Some of the more popular programs include like vet science, agriculture science, business, English literature. We have a cool new sustainability program, but the opportunities are really endless. It's important to note that we don't have general education requirements, so you can jump in and start your major right away if you want. But if you don't know exactly what you want to major in, don't worry. UCD actually has a really cool program called the Liberal Arts and Sciences program, which allows you to take classes across a variety of colleges your first year before ultimately deciding what you want to pursue. So it's great in that way, and that it gives you some flexibility. So you can apply to UCD directly on our website or through the Common App. The Common App is most popular for our US students, since you are applying to other schools that way as well. We do focus primarily on academics, so your standardized test scores, GPA, etc. So you don't have to write any additional essays or send in your resume, anything like that. You can apply to up to 4 programs with 1 application fee. Our applications do open October 1st, and we recommend applying by December 1st, even though we're technically rolling. Because if you apply by December 1st, we can guarantee your decision back to you ahead of our scholarship deadlines. So we have a range of scholarships just for international students that range between 10 to 100% of tuition. About 70% of our international students receive some sort of monetary award. All in, UCD is approximately $40,000, including like books, travel, meals, your tuition, housing, etc. So it is a little more expensive than possibly staying in state, but oftentimes a more affordable option than going out of state or to a private school here in the US. And we do accept US federal aid. All right, if you guys have any other questions, my name is Kendall. Again, you can find my email here, and I'm happy to pop it into the chat. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Kendall. Our next school is going to be the University of Manchester.
Great. Oops. Hello, everyone. Just sort that out. Great. So my name is Annually. I am the representative for the University of Manchester, which is the UK's largest single site university, and it was established in 1824. So we have a proud history of innovation and world's first, some of which are listed here. So in 1917, we have Ernest Rutherford, who split the atom. In 1948, we have Kilburn and Williams, who built the world's first stored program computer. And then in 57, we have Lovell, who built the world's largest steerable radio telescope at Jodrell Bank. The University of Manchester is part of the UK's Russell Group, which identifies 24 world-class research-intensive universities. So some students in the US understand this to be something similar to the Ivy Leagues. It's not a direct translation, but it's something similar. At Manchester, we have our unique vision, which we're proud of. We boast 25 Nobel laureates amongst our staff and students. We currently have 2 on campus in the math and physics department. We're a top UK university for 2 years running for social and environmental impact. And some more accolades for us. We are ranked 27th in the world, according to QS World Rankings. We are 6th in the UK and 8th in Europe, not to mention some of our individual programs, which are individually highly ranked. 83% of our research is judged to be world leading or internationally excellent. Again, that speaks to being part of the Russell Group. And we're the first choice for graduate employers in the UK. So we have students who study various programs, joining global companies. We have our regular recruiters that come to campus and we have great relationships with. They include IBM, BBC, Apple, all these companies that you know, Deloitte, AstraZeneca, which we all know from COVID right now, some of our accounting and tax companies, PwC and KPMG. So lots of great companies that we have good relationships with and our graduates go and work with. Looking at some of our popular courses, so the University of Manchester has 3 faculties. They are the Faculty of Science and Engineering, the Faculty of Biology, Medicine and Health, and then the third one is the Faculty of Humanities, which also houses the Business School. So here are some really popular courses, particularly for students coming from North America. We have popular degrees which can be studied at the undergraduate level, which is law, which are law and medicine. But we also have other really popular programs, sociology and criminology, physics and math, computer science and AI, which is popular in a lot of places, politics and international relations, and creative writing. And there are several others as well. So your Manchester student experience, we are home to over 40,000 students from 160 nationalities, over 10,000 international students, so that's outside the UK and the EU, that are on our campus. So that makes us one of the most international and diverse universities in the UK. So Manchester, not only is Manchester affordable, but the city is also affordable for students seeking degrees in the UK. The living cost and tuition together, you can estimate about $40,000 US to $48,000 US. This excludes the School of Medicine because that whole process works a little bit differently. And so when it comes to your career, we offer amazing options for you at university. And once you graduate, most of our degrees will give you the option to integrate a year abroad. So you're already studying abroad coming to the UK. But if you wanted to have that experience times two, we have something that's known as the year in industry. You might hear it as sandwich year. It's a graduate level internship that is relevant to your degree. So if you happen to be a marketing student, your year in industry is going to be a marketing job. You'll have opportunities for summer internships, volunteering, any sort of outreach programs. Maybe you're looking for a part-time job at university, if that's of interest to you. Either way, Manchester is there to support your journey and your career with multiple resources. So it's not only going to be your department, so whichever department you're studying in, but also career services. They offer one-to-one appointments for you. They'll assist you with writing your CV, applying to these internships, letting you know of new internships or old internships that they've already had relationships with, so you can get started on your career goals. Taking a look at our campus, we are located in the second largest city in the UK, which is Manchester. And Manchester has some of its own firsts. It's the birthplace of vegetarianism, feminism, and the Industrial Revolution. So that's some of our fun facts. The university itself has over 400 clubs and societies, ranging from everything you would expect from a campus extracurricular circuit. So swimming, there's debate, there's different affinity groups if you're interested. If you've always been an athlete and you want to continue to be an athlete, we have plenty of sports, including American football. And we also have an accommodation guarantee for international students, which is really great news for anyone who was thinking about studying in the US. All of our rooms are single occupancy, which is really nice. You won't have a roommate. You will either share your room, you'll share your bathroom, or you'll share your kitchen if you decide to select the self-catered option, which means you'll cook for yourself and you'll share that kitchen space with other flatmates on the floor. So beginning your Manchester student experience, we have over 500,000 alumni in 190 countries. They're doing amazing things, and we look forward to adding new students to that. You can always check out some information about Manchester on our website, but if you would like to schedule a one-to-one meeting with me, feel free to reach out to me via email. I'm happy to set up a Zoom one-on-one with you and tell you more about Manchester or answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Great. Well, our next school is going to be King's College London.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining this evening, afternoon, wherever. Oh, well, it would be evening in Pennsylvania. Let me share my slides here. Great. Hopefully everyone can see this. Please note the QR code on there that will appear one more time, just in case you missed it, for more information about King's. But my name is Ashley Monahan. I'm an international student recruitment manager for King's, based in the States. I look after the Americas. And King's, here we have a photo on the first slide of one of our campuses. I'll speak a little bit more about this later, but we do have 5 campus locations in central London. This one in particular is our Strand campus. You'll recognize from some of the other famous London landmarks in the photo, we have Big Ben, the House of Parliament, the London Eye, the River Thames, and you can see how King's is situated within that central London location, making London a part of the King's campus. So definitely something for everyone when it comes to the location. Okay, great. So King's today, we still maintain our prestige and our proud heritage. Almost 200 years later, we were founded in 1829 as one of the founding colleges of the University of London, with whom we still maintain some ties today, such as intercollegiate halls and some courses that you're able to take interchangeably amongst those other institutions. But we are also part of the Russell Group. And again, yeah, that is something sort of comparable to the Ivy League, as Annalie mentioned. So we're proud to maintain that proud heritage and prestige almost 200 years later, and it shows in our rankings. We are ranked number 31 in the world, number 7 in the UK, and number 3 in London, which is why our graduates are so highly sought after. Over 93% of them are furthering their education or are in employment after graduating from King's. And of course, these top sectors, top companies that are in London and the networking powerhouse that is London, these are the same companies that come on campus and network through networking events and mock interviews, things like that. So our careers and employability team is very well connected within the city, and we leverage those relationships for opportunities for our students and our graduates. And then to talk a little bit about the community at King's, we have a large urban campus and we have over 33,000 students on campus spread across our 5 campuses. Half of them, 16,000, are international students. So we do have a very diverse multicultural campus community, which we like to think reflects the city of London itself, which is of course a very diverse city. We have 185 countries represented at King's, and over 1,000 of them every year are from the US. So we have 1,200 students joining us every year. And again, that just really adds the diversity to the classroom and to the different programs which US students are studying. And I'll talk a little bit more about some of the programs that we look for US students and North American students to fulfill for us. So we also have a very active students union. So we have over 300 activities, over 70 sports clubs. Activities range from academic societies to social clubs, really lots of ways to get involved. And we encourage students to participate in something completely different that they never have before, to learn something new and grow their social, academic, professional network, or to participate in something that they have participated in back at home, just so that they can have a little bit of slice of home with them in London. So lots of ways to get involved in the campus community and the greater London community as well. And our US alumni, that is 10,000 strong across the globe, are definitely, it's a community that we lean on, and as a recruiter, definitely people that I lean on to share their experiences, but ways for students who are interested in joining us at King's to learn from their experiences and their opportunities, because of course, as you graduate from King's and you become an alumnus, then you're also part of this global alumni network, which is just wonderful for opportunities for you as you join the workforce. Go. So these are our programs. We have 9 faculties, 175 programs within them. Our most competitive, most popular are those within life sciences and medicine, law, business, and then growing in popularity worldwide, but particularly worth mentioning amongst our North American students are programs within arts and humanities, social science and public policy, and our psychiatry, psychology, and neuroscience. And again, we look for students from the US for these programs because we are seeking to diversify our classrooms with that population. So you do apply via UCAS. We don't have the Common App. We don't have direct applications through our website. So you do have to apply on UCAS. And if you're interested in any UK university that is on UCAS, you'll want to familiarize yourself with UCAS. And it's a great resource. I lean on it for articles, for just advice and guidance, and it, things in the application cycle can change a little bit year over year. So it's definitely worth checking out. We do provide international student scholarships, and very importantly, FAFSA is accepted, and we encourage you to apply for that early if you're interested. This is probably my favorite slide because we have, about 50 universities or so in London, but this is something that sets us apart at King's. And again, that's our 5 campuses. We have a dozen residence halls for which we guarantee accommodation for first-year students, and you will have your own room, but we also have private residences available as well. And last but not least, London has been voted the best student city, most recently in 2019 by QS. That's because of all of the resources that it provides to its student population. So something that we're very proud to be part of and for students to be part of. There's the QR code one more time. Again, my name is Ashley Monahan. Please connect with me via email and on Unibuddy, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Our last school to go up is going to be Nottingham Trent University.
Hi everybody, can you all see my screen okay? Could someone just give me a thumbs up or something to make sure?
We can, Becca.
Thank you so much. So, hi everyone, my name is Becca. I am NTU, Nottingham Trent University's International Officer for the Americas. I'm also an NTU alumni, so I have the student experience at NTU as well. So this is a whistle-stop tour through NTU, and hopefully I'll show you some things that you might not have known by Googling us as well. So in terms of what we would look for entry requirements for undergraduate degrees, we would look for high school diploma with a 3.0 GPA, 2 APs with a score of 3 in each, and either the ACT with a score of 23 or the SAT with a score of 1090. There is some flexibility. I don't want to go as far to say that we are test optional, but it's kind of, we can be really flexible at the moment, which I'm really happy with. So if you don't have the exact entry requirements and you're worried, please don't be, apply and email me because we can be flexible. With postgraduate degrees, we would either look for a 2.2 or a 2.1, which is a 3.2 or a 2.8 GPA. We are FAFSA accredited, so we accept FAFSA, which is fantastic. And as it was already mentioned, you can do your undergraduate degree in the UK in 3 years and your master's degree in 1 year. And our fees start from around $21,500 per year. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit more about NTU and where we're based, which is the city of Nottingham. So Nottingham is set in the middle of the UK, the middle of England, and my colleagues who have spoken to you about London and Manchester earlier, just to give you an idea of where we're based, it's 2 hours from these institutions. So you could be down south in London within 2 hours, and you could be up north in Manchester within 2 hours. So it's great if you want to travel around the UK. We also have an airport really close by, which is fantastic for cheap flights to Europe if you want to do that while you're in the UK. And the population of Nottingham is around 330,000, and about 70,000 of that is students. So we have a huge student population in the city of Nottingham. It's quite a young, vibrant and fun place to live. So some things that you might not know about Nottingham is that we are home to Woollerton Hall, which is also known as Batman's House or Wayne Manor. So in the last 2 Batman films, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, it was actually filmed at Woollerton Hall, which is about 15 minutes away from our city campus. We're also home to the oldest inn in England, although if you've been to England before, you will know that every city seems to have a claim that they have the oldest pub. And of course, I couldn't go without mentioning our most famous son, Robin Hood himself. We love him so much. We have built a statue of him outside the famous Nottingham Castle, and that's about 10 minutes walk from our city campus. So talking of campuses, I'm going to start with our city campus. So we have 3 campuses. Our city campus is our biggest in terms of student population. So not really in size, but in student population. It is the biggest. It's home to our School of Art and Design, Architecture, Broadcasting and Journalism, our business school, our law school, and our School of Social Sciences. And this is in the city centre, as you would imagine. So you have shops, restaurants and bars within a few minutes walk from your classes, which is fantastic for students. Then we have our Clifton campus, which is set about 15 minutes bus ride out of Nottingham city centre. This is a bit more similar to what you would expect from a US university, what's what we call a student village. So you have everything you need on campus: accommodation, your classes, a student union, sports facilities, shop, library, gym. You have everything here. And this is home to our Institute of Education, the School of Arts and Humanities, and our School of Science and Technology. And finally, we have our Brackenhurst campus, which is our biggest campus in terms of size and smallest in terms of student population. So this is this is home to our School of Animal, Rural and Environmental Sciences. And this campus is actually a working farm. So walking around this campus, you should expect to see horses, sheep, cows, cats. The members of staff bring their dogs, some students bring their horses, and yeah, it's our outdoor classroom really. So just talking about our students briefly. So something that we're really proud of is being a global university, and it's at the heart of a lot of things that NTU does. So we have around 37,000 students at NTU, and around 12% of these students are international students. From someone who went to university at Nottingham Trent, this is something that I went into the university not knowing. It was really similar, really dissimilar to my undergraduate degree, which was just UK students. And I am so grateful for this experience, because I have friends all over the world now, and I have grown as a person because of them. So I think it's fantastic to have that exposure to other cultures. And then we have students and staff from over 130 different nationalities. We have a global week every year to let students celebrate their cultures with food, national dress, dancing. It's a really fun week, my favourite week of the year. I'm going to go through this quite quickly because I know I'm getting short on time. So in terms of rankings and recognition, it can be quite overwhelming hearing different statistics. So I think ones that I would pull out for NTU is that we've won University of the Year in 2017, 18 and 19. And also we have TEF Gold. So TEF Gold is just the Teaching Excellence Framework, and we have the highest possible rating. We're also top 5 for things such as journalism, accounting and finance, top 10 for fashion and textiles. Employability, I know some of my colleagues have spoken about this already. NTU is in the top 10 UK universities for the number of students on year-long work placements, which is something that's really important to us. And because of that, NTU has an employability rate of 97%. So that basically means that 6 months after graduating, 90% of our students are either studying, so they might have gone on to a master's programme, or they have received a job offer. Accommodation, similar to my other colleagues, so you will have single occupancy rooms with a private bathroom, and also university accommodation is allocated and guaranteed to first-year international students. And then really quickly, my last slide, so scholarships, we do have scholarships up to 50% off your first year and £2,000 off your second and third year for undergraduate students, and for postgraduates up to 50% off your tuition fee. I have put my email address here, and we also have a QR code in the corner if you want to scan that, which will sign you up for messages, and you can get in touch with the uni. Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Thank you, Becca. We are quickly running out of time, so I am going to go ahead and get this started because we have a Q&A session to end off the session. We're going to be going in the same order as we presented. So I'd love to welcome back John Cabot University and ask the question, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
I always say to not only do research on the university itself, but the surrounding area. Do just as much research, because if you're going to go to the middle of nowhere, you might not appreciate that being stuck on the campus the whole time. If you go to a city, you know, do your research not just on the campus, but on the surrounding city.
Awesome, thank you. Next up, we have John Metropolitan University.
So what I would say is definitely, no matter what you do in college, definitely travel. I mean, all these universities are international universities, but whether you decide to do something in the country or outside, just travel as much as you possibly can. It's the best time for you to do it. whether it's studying abroad or getting your degree abroad. There's such a big world out there. So take advantage and see as much of it as you can.
Thank you. Thank you. Next up is going to be University College Dublin.
Yeah, I would say reach out to your regional representative as much as possible. US universities have them, international universities have them as well. So don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions, especially because it can appear so different from the US system. So we're always happy to help with where you may need clarity or help.
Thank you, Kendall. Next up is going to be University of Manchester.
Just utilize us, reach out to us. There's a lot of information out there. Not all of it is correct. You should always use the college website as the first place for the most up-to-date information. And you could always reach out to one of us international officers. We'd love to help you.
Thank you. Next up is going to be King's College London.
Very similarly, just echoing what everyone else has said, I guess after you've looked at the website for the official guidance, then go to our social media pages. We have a lot of great virtual features across all of our universities. We've had to adapt in the last year. So UniBuddy, just ways for you to do virtual campus tours, things like that. And those are mostly going to be from the student perspective, which is really important. So I think that's always a nice layer to add for insight when you're looking and doing your research.
Great, thank you, Ashley. And then we're going to end this off with Nottingham Trent University.
What can I say? I feel like everything's been covered now. I would maybe say to have a look at a variety of rankings if that's something that's important to you, because in the UK especially, universities can maybe be third on one ranking for economics, for example, and then in another ranking they might be 30th for the same course. So I'd look at what the rankings stand for, what they take into consideration, what's most important to you, whether it is student satisfaction or whether it is how many exams you're doing, how much research the university is doing. So I'd have a look at a variety of different rankings and have a look at what they actually measure.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. And folks, that brings us to the end of our presentation. I just want to start off by telling our panelists, thank you so much for being here, for being attentive, for sharing all the fantastic things about your institutions, and then sharing them with our audience as well. The next piece of order is that once you close this window, there's going to be a very short 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Again, for our audience, there are more sessions to be offered, so be sure to sign up for more. And last but not least, if you want to view this recording, it's going to be available in about a week at stripescan.com/Pennsylvania. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day, evening, morning from wherever you're joining us from.